Today I'm excited to bring you the history and legacy of Peugeot 404, a car whose legacy can never be ignored. The first Peugeot was produced in 1889 and it was called Peugeot Type 1. Typical of the era, it was a three-wheel car. Since then, Peugeot has had as many as 18 different models. Today they have everything including a Peugeot E208, which is an electric car, and a hybrid 508 PSE. In 1891 and 1892, Peugeot Type 1 and Type 2 were released consecutively. Both of these had four wheels, and even though this was a big step forward, it still was a far cry from the four-wheelers that we have today. However, it was a great technology for its day. Now fast forward to the 1960s, and we now have the first Peugeot 404. I do have a soft spot for this car because I grew up in the 70s and the 80s. And where I lived, Peugeot 404 was all the rage. After a long period of reign, its popularity dwindled and was later replaced by Peugeot 504. But that's a story for another day. The predecessor of Peugeot 404 was Peugeot 403, which was a decent car, but for some reason didn't gain as much popularity as the 404. However, credit where credit is due, 403 was and remains a popular choice among its circle of admirers. Now, what made Peugeot 404 such a popular car? There are several reasons why 404 hit the market by a storm and became an instant favorite. The first one I have to say is the sleek design. Peugeot 404 hit the road running, and its beauty was a thing to behold. It was one of the first ones that looked a little bit more like a modern car. It looked like it had one foot in the past and one foot in the future. 404 came with a very slimline design that had an immediate appeal to the masses. Designed by the French automotive designer Michael Horner, it featured a modern and elegant design with a unibody construction that was innovative for its time. It had an imposing yet inviting front end and was fitted with a unique large grille. It also had an impressive rear end with very refined and defined tail fins. Number two, the ever-increasing variants of the 404 kept getting better year after year. With each new design, 404 continued to accumulate praise from its fans and users. Starting out as a salon styled by Pininfarina, a truck body style was introduced shortly after and became very popular. In 1962, a convertible was added, and later, a coupe was added in 1963. The Salon, however, continued to be the most popular model. The legendary 404 pickup was first produced in March 1967. The payload of the pickup varied between 800 kilograms to 1,000 kilograms. It's about 1,600 pounds to 2,000 pounds. Number three, the horsepower and the engine. 404 came with a much more promising engine than its predecessor. The 72 HP that was later increased to 80 in a 550 RPM, the 404 brought more to the table than the 403, which only had 65 HP. 404 kept adapting to the changing times. Over the years, different engine choices, parts were added, including a diesel power engine which was released in 1967. The 404 diesel engine boasted 8 CV diesel 1.948cc, which is equivalent to 118.9 cu, 64 PS, and 47 kW, 63 bhp. Transmission, clutch, disc, or semi-automatic, which is a Jaeger electromagnetic coupler, or a Zephy automatic. It also had a suspension coil with hydraulic shock absorbers in the front and solid axle with panhandle rod at the rear. Maximum speed was up to 167 kilometers per hour, which is equivalent to 104 miles per hour. A car with an engine like that was pretty impressive for the day. A champion was born in 1960. Not only was the 404 popular as a bush taxi, especially in Africa, and a beloved family car around the world, it was also the crown champion of several world races. For instance, 404 was the winner of the East African Safari Rally not once but 2 years in a row, first in 1966 with Shankland behind the wheel and Rothwell as the co-driver, and again in 1967 with the same crew. At that time, Shankland was the service manager of Tanganyika Motors. Now this cemented the reputation of the 404 in East Africa, thereby clearing any remnant doubts about its prowess and the fact that it may not have had what it takes to survive and thrive in Africa. This rally-winning 404 injection sedan is now in the Peugeot Museum collection in France. Now, even though 404 was very popular at home, France was not the only place that had a real appetite for the car. Its popularity had skyrocketed in many parts of the world, including Australia, New Zealand, South America, North America, and Africa. It was also marketed and sold and licensed for many manufacturing assemblies around the world. The 404 was assembled in Ireland, Kenya, Madagascar, Malaysia, New Zealand, Nigeria, Portugal, Peru, Uruguay, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. In South Africa especially, the 404 continued to be in production until the end of 1978. And at the time when the last 404 was released, it has sold almost 3 million cars around the world. 404 was then a much beloved car in many parts of Africa, especially in Kenya and South Africa, because she had proven herself to be reliable and adaptable to the rough and tough African terrain. Both the Salon and the station wagon were widely used as bush taxi and as a beloved family car. The 404 pickup became a favorite among farming communities and the transportation industry. I do personally have fond memories of riding an overstocked and overloaded 404 bush taxi. I would like to submit to you that 404 left a legacy that is indelible. From day one, 404 hit the ground running. It seemed like each new release made her grow even more popular. 404 had cemented its legacy globally, and like its predecessor, the 404 dominated the world of cars across the spectrum. It was popular in every sector where people use cars. Rarely does a car get to shine as bright. While it was making history as a rally champion, it was also a beloved car ferrying many families all across different parts of the world. It was a beloved farmland vehicle transporting harvest, animals, and feed from the farm to the marketplace and vice versa. It garnered a reputation for toughness, quality, and durability that was unparalleled. Probably the most important contribution that 404 made was to introduce us to the 504. And when the 504 hit the platform, it came on a platform that was already shimmering and to an audience that was fully engaged and hungry for more. In the next episode, we will introduce the Indomitable 504. But for now, we can arguably say that not only did 404 do a stellar job from start to finish, but it set a great example for 504 to follow. Now, it's also true that it left some huge boots for 504 to fill. Now, 504 did more than fill those boots. She delivered in droves, and we will see that in the next episode. We would like to just celebrate its legacy and its contribution to our world. I'd like to say rest in peace, mighty soldier. But for those of us who still have a 404, I know you do cherish that car. And if you ever decide to sell it, please contact me. And until next time,